Hello and welcome to Aztecs All In, the podcast that goes all in on San Diego State sports. I'm Weiner along with Steve Perez. We are two SDSU alums with decades of experience in local media, and we are both excited for some football. How about you, Steve? Are you ready for the San Diego State Ohio opener?
I have my game face on, Lewis, and I am an Aztec for life.
In this week's episode, we'll introduce you to two of the team's captains who are just announced. We have all you need to know about the San Diego State-Ohio matchup. Wide receiver Mekhi Shaw talks about this year's wide receiver group compared to last year. Running back Christon talks about the importance of team camaraderie. And we'll take a look at the Aztecs defense with defensive coordinator Kurt Mattix and defensive lineman Daniel Akpoko. That's a chock full of goodness there, Steve.
Try saying that 5 times fast along with Saskatchewan, which is his hometown.
Oh, I didn't know that. See, I just learned something new on our podcast. Who knew?
Keep listening. We'll all learn something sooner or later.
I will tune in every week. So while the coaches run the show, team leadership is key to a successful football team. Throughout a season, certain players will step up at certain times, but when the coaches recognize players that they know will step up all the time, they name them team captains. Defensive back Cedarius Barfield, defensive lineman Garrett Fountain, kicker Jack Browning, and running back Kenon Christon were named captains for this football season. And here's what they had to say, starting with Jack Browning.
For me, it was just a huge honor. You know, it's not too common when, a specialist kicker or punter or gets selected as a team captain because, typically you think of them a little bit less in value on the team, but these guys, I just appreciate them for selecting me. I went out and worked hard every day, both in winter conditioning, spring ball, this fall camp, and so I'm just truly honored to be able to represent this team and go into this 2023 season.
Yeah, for me it was one of really the greatest accomplishments I could achieve while being here because I had just got here last year, so, it's not something that I was expecting, but, of course it's something that you want as a senior. So I just, when I got here, I kept my head down and I just worked, and I kind of just took that with me into this year with being a little more vocal to the team because, being a senior, you got to kind of lead by example, so that's what I choose to do, and the team chose me to represent them, so it's a great honor.
It's really great to hear how important becoming a team captain is. Kenon Christon was really, touched by it, and that's really exciting to see how emotional he got by learning that.
Yes, Lewis. It's but the other thing about it is when you ask them about the roles they have to play, it's still in the context of them being members of a team, and they've used this phrase 1-11, meaning that they're one of 11 guys on the field at the time, and everybody has a role to play. So even though they are team captains, they are still approaching their jobs the exact same way and trying to compete against everybody on the field and put their best foot forward come game time. And so, Lewis, ready or not, the Aztecs take the field against Ohio University this weekend, but you can't really think about this year's opener without first addressing last season's opener against Arizona, which was
we don't want to do that.
Well, kind of because it was a point of emphasis for the team and for the coaching staff. They talked about how they weren't really, for some reason, they didn't put good wood on the ball in that game, and asked Coach Hoke to address that, and also asked Cedarius Barfield also to discuss the performance last year against Arizona in the home opener.
It was on me. I didn't do a good enough job preparing the guys for that game and for the elements to some degree, but just overall, we went out there and we didn't play very well.
How do you feel you've done this year?
I think we're much more prepared. I think the hunger that the guys have shown and how they've been physical and how they played is pretty. I'm proud of how they went through fall camp. So now we'll be proud how we play against OU, Ohio University.
I felt as though we went into that game kind of nonchalant. You know, we beat them the year before, and we felt as though we were going to do the same thing. And I felt as though this year we have a different mindset, and we've been working tackling drills, of course, and we've just been more intentional, you know, with it. And I feel as though we're kind of ready for that.
So, Steve, of course, what everybody remembers about that game last year, besides the fact that the game was terrible, San Diego State didn't play well, was the oppressive heat. And those things combined just made it for, unfortunately, a miserable opening day for Snapdragon Stadium. So I'm hoping that this season's opener is a little better. What do you think?
Well, it has the makings of it, but Ohio University is going to be a tough opponent. They are one of the first 6 Aztecs opponents. Actually, 5 of the first 6 opponents made a bowl game in 2022, and Ohio is one of the 5 teams the Aztecs will play this year who have racked up 10 wins in the previous season. So it's going to be one of the tougher schedules in the nation, and it starts with Ohio, which gave the Aztecs a pretty good thumping in the Frisco Bowl in 2018. Here's a rundown from the defensive coordinator, Kurt Mattix, and Barfield and Fountain about what they're seeing against this week's opponent.
They're going to be a physical bunch of individuals that are going to run the ball first, play action pass, take shots. They have an outstanding quarterback that was player of the year who's coming off a little bit of an injury. Right. So we fully expect him to be back and healthy. But their backup took them to the conference championship game as well as a win over a conference opponent in Wyoming in their Arizona Bowl. So their running back's outstanding, and we think their offensive line might be one of the best we see all year. So very tough physical team that's going to be coming out west, and I'm sure they're trying to, be 1-0 just like we are from that standpoint.
They kind of remind me a little bit of like that last year Fresno team. They have like a lot of receivers that are good. Like Coach said, they have 9 out of 11 guys returning, so that's a lot. A very experienced O-line group, a running back that runs very hard, and they have a couple of running backs and tight ends that love to block and that can also go out too. So it's a game that you have to be disciplined. They can kind of beat you in many ways. And with having 2 quarterbacks, they also have that backup quarterback number 10. He came into last year, did really well. He did good in the championship game, and he also did win a bowl game. So it's kind of one of those things that you kind of have to be wary about. Everything that they have, you have to kind of make sure that you come into this game on your P's and Q's.
We're just going to have to come out and play physical, and we have to be fundamentally sound and be good with our techniques and disciplined really up front. We got some guys who are tough and can play physical and are in the spot, and we've had a really good competition this year at fall camp, and they're a disciplined O-line and a lot of returners, and so it's going to be a good battle. We just have to play physical, go out there and be tough.
Steve, it's easy for fans to see that San Diego State is playing a team from the MAC and think, why, we should crush those guys. But that's not how this works. I remember Eastern Illinois came in years ago to Qualcomm Stadium with a guy named Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback, and everybody thought the Aztecs would romp, and they won the game something like 45-13. So you can never predict these things,
No, and the Mid-America Conference is a proud conference. A lot of the coaches on staff have ties or are very well aware of how much they love their football and how physical they can be in the Midwest. Plus, to me, they have an offensive line that sounds pretty stellar because, and here was the tell. When their starting quarterback went down with injury, the backup guy stepped in and got him to the conference title game, and then they won a bowl game with him. And you don't do that if you're running for your life after getting the ball from center. That means your offensive line is in sync. They're protecting the quarterback. They're experienced. So the Aztecs will indeed have a challenge getting to the quarterback with that experienced offensive line. The Aztecs have an excellent record against the Mid-America Conference teams, but the only team they've lost to is this one, Ohio U, in that bowl game, the Frisco Bowl in 2018.
Yeah, I think the team is up for it. The offense really has to get going. And we know that the Aztecs football team, this Aztecs football team, has a strong collection of running backs. And while both Cam Davis and Jalen Armstead have stood out during fall practice, perhaps the most talented of the group is Kenon Christon. Last year, Christon rushed for 261 yards on 71 carries, caught 9 balls for 207 yards, and scored 3 touchdowns. When asked to compare this year's team to last year's team, one thing stood out to him.
I feel better going into the game than I did last year. I feel like a little more confident. I just feel like, I don't know, I just get a different overall vibe from the whole team. So I feel like, you know, if the team's positive and we have a good vibe, then, you know, that rubs off on everyone. You know, one person can make the whole team go downhill. So we all kind of keep each other up, and, you know, that positive energy everywhere helps me, so it makes me feel good. For me personally, I feel like we're just a closer unit, and that could be different coming from somebody else, but I feel like the unit, offensive unit as a whole, not just the ones, but like all the way down to the 3s or 4s, I feel like the whole offense together is just a closer, cohesive unit, and I feel like the closer you are, the better you play.
So, of course, while the strength of the Aztecs offense is its collection of running backs, the wide receiver position, that's a different story. While there's a lot of talent in that locker room, it's definitely an unproven group. One of the standouts in practice has been junior wide receiver Mekhi Shaw out of Scripps Ranch High School. I had the chance to ask Coach Hoke about the progress of the wide receivers and spent a little time with Mekhi Shaw after practice. Coach, the running backs really stood out, Jalen and Cam the other day. And today in practice, I see the wide receivers they made some nice plays today. How do you see the wide receivers coming along? Right
well, that's a young room, and I think Jonathan Krause has done a really good job with it. You know, I think there's some guys in there who have a chance to really be good football players for us. I think we've been pretty consistent, and really probably the last couple practices, I think that's where the improvements come.
What's the wide receiver room like right now? Jelani made some nice catches today. De Los Reyes, you pretty much caught everything your way. What's the feel in the room?
Yeah, it kind of feels like Coach Krause came in and started building from the ground up so that every receiver can kind of build their skill set up. And I feel like it's going to get to the point where, you know, there's going to be a lot of guys that Moose can trust and throw it to whoever he needs to.
You have a talented group of tight ends, wide receivers. Do you guys have a little thing going about, who's better or who should get the ball more, that sort of thing?
No, not at all. You know, at the end of the day, we just want to win. So whoever's the best is going to get in the game. Whoever's the best is going to get the ball.
So running back, wide receiver. I expect the running backs have a really strong game, and I'm hoping with Breon Penny and Mekhi Shaw and some of the other strong receivers that they can really bring it this Saturday.
The Aztecs do look to be improved on offense this year. Time will tell, as that old cliche goes, whether it has improved enough for them to reach a level that they are accustomed to, because the program, you talk to them inside and out, and 7-6 record last year was a winning record, made it to a bowl game, but that's not the level that they hope to be at and achieve for years to come. I mean, the year before they had double-digit wins. And as fans, perhaps we've gotten a little bit spoiled about that. But we'll find out for certain once both teams take the field. It'll be on Fox Sports 1, 4 p.m., Snapdragon Stadium. So that will be the matchup, and we will see if the preparation on the coaching staff and on the team side was enough to come out with a victory. Ready or not, the Aztecs are taking the field against one of 5 teams the Aztecs face, as we've previously mentioned, that have won 10 or more games last season. Bobcats, they averaged nearly 32 points a game. So what do you think the key to this one is, Lewis?
I think the key is the offense to get in gear early. Remember last year, they started off slowly. Arizona got that big, long touchdown, and the Aztecs were playing from behind the whole way. I think San Diego State needs to start out fast, get a lead, let the strong defense do its job against a tough Ohio offense, and then keep adding on. You know, they got to score some points here.
Right. always helpful if you can put points on the board, but just as important is keeping the other team from racking up points as well. In episode 12, we talked about the importance of the guys up front on offense, and this time we'll touch on the defense with a bit of an emphasis on the 3 down linemen and the 3 linebackers in the 3-3-5 defense. We had a chat recently with defensive coordinator Kurt Mattix, also coaches the linebackers, and he actually ran that 3-3-5 at a small college, and he came out during Hoke's first tenure with the Aztecs to learn how Rocky Long ran the doggone thing. And essentially it's 6 guys up front, 5 DBs, and the aim is getting after the guy with the ball.
So the philosophy of the defense is, number one, put as much speed on the field as we can to match the speed that the offense is presenting to us. Through that, the personnel that's on the field, we can do multiple things and do what our kids do best. Most of the time it's play man coverage and blitz, but other times it's slant, angle, use the athleticism that our defensive line can have.
Other times, he says, the idea is to take angles on the line and try to put defenders in mismatches with the opposing team's personnel. It's an exciting defense to watch, Lewis. It's high risk and high reward. Statistically, San Diego State has ranked in recent years as among the top 10 in scoring defense, total defense, interceptions, forced turnovers. Aztecs have experience in the secondary, with 5 guys in the secondary being returning starters from last season. The lone starter closer to the ball is linebacker Cooper McDonald.
At linebacker, we graduated 3 good seniors, and we're replacing those 3 seniors with some younger guys. Have played a little bit of football for us, so we're excited about that. But the biggest thing is our defensive line. That will be all new. And so that being said, it's been a work in progress, and we're probably going to have to do it by committee with trying to mix and match guys to keep them fresh. But we're really excited about the competition. I think that's the biggest thing that we're excited about, is a competition amongst in all the positions. Even at the safety spot where we have a lot of guys returning, we still feel like we're in a situation where the talent's going to continue to push each other to help elevate the level of performance.
One of the starters on the defensive line is the senior who we've already heard from, Garrett Fountain. He was named one of the team captains and cleared to play after an unspecified elbow injury kept him out of action after the first week of camp. He is the Aztecs' second most experienced player on defense, next to Cedarius Barfield. He's a converted linebacker who's hit the weight room and training table to help the team on the defensive line. This 3-3-5 defense, combined with the Aztecs' all-about-the-team approach, as opposed to the individual, they call it 1-11. You watch the Aztecs on defense, and you don't just see the same 11 play in and play out. That means everyone on defense has to be paying attention. Super senior Cedarius Barfield knows the drill. He's the starting field warrior. That's actually a combination of safety and linebacker in the Aztecs defense.
You have to kind of rely on these guys to come in and kind of uphold what the starters or the people that have been in the game have done, But that's the thing that we do in practice. We kind of condition the way we play, whether it's 7-on-7, team segments, or just individual drills. We make sure that to every station you have to run hard and make sure that we build that win, because you never know when your number is going to be called. And that's something that we kind of pride on. Our number 2 kind of rule in our philosophy is all 11 to the ball in a bad humor. And so we make sure that no matter who comes in, young or old, they know that we have to run to the ball, run hard as you can. And so that's something that we've been taught. That's like the first thing you kind of learn when you come into the system.
When your number is called, and you never know. It's football. Like you said earlier, injuries may happen, or we're just substitution-wise. Everybody's going to get a chance to play. If you're on the travel bus, expect to play, So everybody going into that game is feeling confident on what their abilities are and their role, and being able to go out and play and just keep the game in motion and flowing the way we had it.
One of the guys adding to that depth is another super senior who is not on the 2 deeps. Daniel Apoko has had a few injuries in the game, but he will be counted on to make big plays, according to Mattix, as he is now healthy, he is playing fast and aggressive in practice, and of course he is experienced.
For me, it's always been to put the team first, either helping out on special teams, scout team. I played a little scout team back in my day. Just anywhere I can help out on the team to help us get the win. It doesn't really matter as long as I'm playing my role, the role the coaches want me to play. We are definitely young, but like I feel like we can use that to our advantage as a D-line. It gives them, they're all open to learning, especially like a lot of the new guys coming in. Like we have, can I drop names here?
Yeah, sure, go, yeah, drop
Yeah,
names.
like we have Brady Nasser. He's a pretty young guy. He's a freshman, and he's just picking up the plays just like that, and it's good to see stuff like that. And I just feel like they're picking up the defense quicker than I've ever seen any group of guys pick up the defense, and it's very impressive. I think I'm impressed with it, and it's just, and I feel it just goes back to what the coaches are doing, and it's just like you're making sure we know what we're doing and how to do it, and that's just amazing to see right now.
We could rotate people and bring guys in to, maybe cover better, maybe a little bit zone better, maybe be better blitzers. And so, that from that standpoint, we're trying to play at least 22 guys a game, try to create competition, create depth amongst your team and all that other stuff.
And create havoc
For the offense, without question.
Initially, any good defense wants to take away the run, get the ball back to the offense, let them put scores on the board, make the opposing team play from behind. If the defense can do that, it really puts them at an advantage, knowing the other team has to resort to a passing attack to move the ball and make them one-dimensional. For this defense to work in 2023, head coach Brady Hoke says a number of Aztecs must have good years, and that includes Tupu Alualu, the junior transfer in the center of the defensive line.
Well, up front, I think Mr. Fountain, and I would say Tupu and Dan Apoko. Those three need to have a really good year for us. I think the linebackers, I think we have some depth there and a group of guys. And then the back end, I think there's some guys that are really good football players that are really going to help us.
Playing physical and being tough. That's exactly what Coach Hoke is stressing, right? That's what he wants his team to be.
Well, they have historically been tough on defense. They are 70-4. These are keys since 2011 when they hold the opposition to 17 points or less. And they have some impressive stats over since about 2014 where they are among some of the top teams in the nation in scoring defense, in turnovers, other key defensive stats. So they have a proud tradition on defense. And when they can hold the opposition down to 17 points or less, they are 70-4. And they've won 20 of their last 22 when forcing at least 2 turnovers. So, holding them down on defensive on the scoreboard and forcing some turnovers and getting the ball back to the offense to see if they can grind it out and grind the other team down on their defense. That's the key.
Touchdowns and turnovers. We score touchdowns, we get turnovers, we win the game. Football is a simple game,
simple,
Steve,
yeah.
right?
It is.
If you score touchdowns and get turnovers, you win ball games. It's amazing how that works.
I've seen a lot of football games at another level in high school football, and let's do a quick shout out to the Prep Pigskin Report on KUSI, who've been doing their thing for 25 years now. I go out and see football all over the county on a Friday night. And there it is reduced to its most essential because in that game, it's the best athletes on your side of the ball pretty much tell the tale. And in high school, it's a situation where maybe it's a handful of the best guys are deciding it. At the D1 level, everybody's at a fairly elite level, so it becomes that much more exciting to see how these two teams go at it and to see who comes out on top. And that's, to me, was what makes the game of football so great.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch, and we'll have a post-game podcast, so listen up for that.
Well, before we go, I want to just give you a few headlines from my Aztec Link news feed. Lewis, have you
here we go.
Joined the Aztec Link yet?
I have not. You can go back to last week's episode. I have not joined yet. I am going to join. I've got to write it down because I don't remember until you mention it to me and then embarrass me on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, on the podcast. Well, I mean, here we are. We're all in, except when it comes in. Look at this. There's a fantasy football sleeper where Rashad Penny still has a shot at 2023 success. And here's some predictions about the odds for, I guess they're calling it College Football Week 0. So I'm going to click on that right now since I'm an Aztec Link member and look at what the odds are and predictions against this. Let's see. What is the spread? The Aztecs are -2, and the money line is +120 for Ohio. So, you know, I don't know what all that means because I don't bet all that much anymore on football, but I'm sure it means a lot to you since you're envying that Aztec Link membership.
Well, I've been known to wager on some sports, but I do not ever wager on San Diego State games, either football or basketball. It's just bad luck, right? Bad luck.
Yeah, it's more or less you want to enjoy the game. It's going to be bad enough if, it doesn't go your way, and you just want to enjoy the moment. I think we've meandered long enough. It's probably past time to sign off with a promise from Aztec Lou, our co-host, that next time we talk, he will be a member of Aztec Lou.
I will. And if I'm not, you can do a whole segment on that.
You heard it here first. I'm going to have to get lessons on how to close from J.R. Tolver. But that'll wrap up this edition of Aztecs All In. I'm Steve Perez for Louis Weiner, inviting you to follow us on Aztecs_all_in on the X. I'm taking my forearms and I'm crossing them together to make a giant X. That's the X. And if you have any notes you want to send us, some darts, some laurels, you can send them to our Gmail account. That is at aztecsallin@gmail.com. Again, for Louis Weiner, I'm Steve Perez saying thank you for giving us a listen.